consultants and fast. Then you can take over. We are ready since 12 o'clock.
Joy here.
Yeah, Joy, I saw the Joy.
I have a lot of I'm sharing this one.
Yeah, so he said, okay, then put on the platform. You will just share it. I just want the link to go everywhere. So as we get all of us to say something about it, then I'll come and mention the names of those who are saying.
Yeah, I think.
And then we read the park and talk about what we do post the elections.
Should I? Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and our honorable guests from the press. You are welcome to today's press conference, and we want to acknowledge and appreciate your presence. As you know, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey has for some time now been mobilizing, organizing around actions to end Galamsey, illegal mining, and also irresponsible mining across the country. A lot of actions have taken place over the months since September 11th, when we all met here with several statements from several CSOs, professional bodies, and faith-based institutions and leadership, asking all of us to, and government in particular, to take action on Galamsey. Today, after several months of engagement with government, with the political parties and several other entities for action, we've been able to arrive at certain key, I'll say, milestones. And we thought it wise to bring it to the public's attention, and together with us also cut a path for monitoring and also ensuring that the social contract that the various aspiring political candidates have committed to in their own manifestos and things that they have said on their campaign trails, we're able to hold them accountable. Something special is going to happen here today, and I'm happy to announce that members of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, which, as most of you know, is now a movement of several organizations, key bodies across the country, professional bodies. We have the Organized Labor, UTAG, the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Christian Council, Catholic Bishop Council as well, and then the CSO platform and SDGs, CASA Initiative Ghana, several other NGOs, Eco-Conscious Citizens, several others, One Ghana group as well, all of us. And today, as you can see at the head table, a lot of these very prominent professional and CSO bodies, the leadership are here, seated at the high table, and will be talking to us and telling us why we are here. But I think the biggest reminder for all of us is trying to go back as far back as 11th September, when we met here with you and committed to actions to address Galamsey. Certain key demands were made by civil society, including the professional bodies. And one of the decisions or one of the demands was that political parties sign a pact to demonstrate their commitment. Today, we are here to witness that special occasion, and I'm going to leave that particular moment of presenting to ask what the pact is, who has signed, who has not, and also listen to some key members of the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey on our commitment and what we are going to do in the coming months, even after the elections, which is going to happen on 7th December 2024. So, without taking any more of our time, let me acknowledge all the media agencies present here, and this program is being streamed live on several channels. We'll be sharing, I think for most of you who are already running live, we appreciate that, and I think we're going to share on other civil society platforms. So thank you all very much, and let's welcome the convener. Okay, good. I think before we really bring the convener to actually present the key details of the pact, which is going to be the momentous occasion for us here, let me take the opportunity to invite key members of the high table, to share with us their commitments, their sentiments, and also why they believe that this action today is very, very crucial. I want to take the opportunity and invite Professor Jampo, who represents UTAC, to take the floor. Let's please give him a round of applause.
All right, thank you very much, Engineer Ashigbe and distinguished members on the high table forming the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey. I'm sure you know we've come very far in this fight against illegal and irresponsible mining. Long before UTAC started this fight, we admit that there was a coalition that had engaged in trying to lead the fight against illegal and irresponsible mining. On the part of UTAG, we took it upon ourselves to continue to pile pressure on government to ensure that government does the needful. But at one point in time, we realized that we could not continue to romance a stone, because you are fighting a government that at that time had already checked out. When you go on strike, you don't go on strike just for the sake of it. The idea of strike is to put pressure on powers that be to force them to do the needful. But you have a case where the responsible ministers are all out there campaigning, and so they don't have time to sit with you. The president then had traveled. His vice president was also far away somewhere in the hinterlands also campaigning. So who do you dialogue with? And so we took a decision that why not forget about those who are already on their way out and then concentrate on those who will be coming, signing a pact with them. And we decided to team up with a bigger coalition so that together we can be more strengthened, and we can present a stronger force. And so, as you may have been aware, now we have the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal and Irresponsible Mining, or Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey. The idea is, let's have a pact that will be signed between us and the various aspirants, so that the pact would present the kinds of tangible things that must be done should any of them become elected as our president. Once they sign the pact with us, we use the pact as a tool of accountability. If you signed with us, then we can use it as a basis to demand that you act. And then we can be very much strengthened to speak in a language that is better understood by government, should they fail to go by the dictates of the pact. So, on behalf of UTAG, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of the coalition. And as you've been told, very soon, the head will detail the contents of the pact and then also outline or mention to all of you the aspirants who have signed the pact. And then you would all be our witnesses, so that tomorrow, if we begin to fight again and demand accountability, those useless tags and criticisms that even though you are fighting to secure ourselves, you are also making a government unpopular, would not come up again. We would have a fresh slate upon which we believe that actions could be taken for the betterment of all of us and for the safeguarding of our environment. And so we are in it together. We thank all of you guys in the media for being here and for the support that you've given to us. You should know that the environment itself is fundamental to our existence. Without the environment, we have no business even standing here to talk. So these are the few words I want to say on behalf of UTAG. I thank you all for attention.
Okay, so thank you very much, Professor Jampo, for sharing with us UTAG's position and also commitment to this. Let me now also take the opportunity to invite Bernard of Organized Labor to also share with us why we must do this.
Not Organized Labor.
General. Okay, all right. General transport. No Organized Labor. Okay, great. So Bernard, please take the floor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. I am here on behalf of the General Transport, Petroleum and Chemical Workers Union as the National Chairman of the TUC and Chairman of the Petroleum Union. We are in full support of the coalition. We've been together from day one, and we've all decided that this fight is a fight that we should not end it. It's a fight that we should continue because this is something that borders on our livelihood, and we think that is a good cause. So far as we exist as a group, we'll continue supporting the cause of this illegal Galamsey that is happening in our country. And for us to be here, we are here to ensure that a pact that we have been able to secure from both political parties to sign, so that it becomes like a social contract between the coalition and whoever emerge as a winner. We continue from there. On that note, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Bernard. I guess all of us are listening to some of these statements, but I don't know how many of you have still had the opportunity to still pursue the Galamsey ongoing in the various communities in our district far away from Accra. As far as we are concerned, the Galamsey activities have not abated. And from what we know, it's even escalating. Everybody knows that they have maybe 7th of December to be the last day, cutoff point for them to stop. That's if they are ever going to stop. Exactly. So like they say, a lot of them are really going in with everything they've got. And we talk about forest reserves in Ashanti region, forest reserves in the western region, and the river bodies and communities, and more communities are coming under threat from miners coming in to take their land. And this, we know, is compulsory possession of people's farms just so that they can continue mining. Now, this is how bad this issue is. And to think that we have a leadership, a government, with the police, with everything at their control, and these things are still happening. It's just sad that we've not been able to do anything up to now to resolve this problem. I see that we have failed the present generation, and we need to do this so we don't fail the future. And that is why today we are meeting here. I want to take the opportunity to invite the Ghana Institute of Forestry, represented by Architect Foster Osai Akono, President, to also share their position on why we must do this. But I think all of us need to be reflecting on what's happening in our lands regarding Galamsey. So please, let's give him a big hand of applause, Architect Foster.
All right, so thank you for the opportunity to be here. My name is Architect Foster Osai Akono, and the President of Ghana Institute of Architects. Ghana Institute of Architects joined the coalition for against illegal mining because we felt that as professionals we can only do better if we engage in this, in making sure that the politicians, and for that matter those in the public service, stop what they are doing. In fact, we all know water is life. We as architects design with land, and coupled with the fact that we only have how many years? Less than 6 years to meet the SDG. And I visit sites a lot, going to Abomosu, for instance, and Agenda 111, you see that Galamsey is happening, let's say 10 meters away from the project site. And you ask yourself, if they have borehole to service the hospital, what is going to happen to the treatment of that water? The water, that runoff, which we advocate, that as part of strategy to harness water in our homes, we have to harvest the runoff. And if there are chemicals in it, what are we doing to ourselves? And that is the main reason why we joined the coalition for against illegal mining. And we've pushed our members, we've informed our members, and they are all in support of this. We can only do better as a country if we don't sit on the fence, but rather to be involved in the welfare of the country. Like this last speaker said, we have disappointed the present generation, but we cannot disappoint the future. The future starts now, and we have to act now, and that is why we are acting. So we encourage the entire citizenry to also be active in this. Let's push our politicians, let's push our chiefs, let's push the people in the public sector to stop the illegal mining. They are doing it at the detriment of the entire citizenry, and they are doing it to generate wealth for themselves. They don't think about anything other than the wealth that they are getting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Architect, President for Ghana Institute of Architects. I want to also remind us that I'm sure most of you recall, after the 11th, the presidency promised to also undertake certain actions in response to CSO's demands. Most of you know, and if you followed what the president did, you know that we are still far from really addressing the issues. I'm sure our convener, Ken, would have the opportunity to really take us through some of these lapses in actions that the president commissioned in response to the demand from civil society. But before we even get to all of that, I want to also take the opportunity, and I think we've already gotten some, I would say, heads up by talking about the SDGs and the fact that we have a responsibility towards not only the present but the future, and the 17 SDGs for which all of us as a country have been working towards. We have the CSO platform coordinator, the national coordinator for the CSO platform on SDGs here with us, in a person of Reverend Kunedu Asari, who also will share with us why the urgency and why the need for us to really take action against Galamsey. So let's invite Reverend. Reverend, please. Let's give a round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. Thank you to the committee for the hard work. We are here once again to emphasize that Ghana, and for that matter, our president, who is one of the eminent co-chairs of the advisory committee on the SDGs, is in this country, and we ought to abide by the pact that we have signed at the global level to ensure that we work together to achieve sustainable development goals outcome by 2030. As it looks, we are nowhere close, and Galamsey is contributing to the negative outcomes that we are recording. It doesn't look good on us as citizens, and especially for us who work in civil society, who work with vulnerable groups, underrepresented and marginalized groups in the community. The devastating effects of Galamsey cannot be overemphasized. We are here today to see the pact that is being drafted to guide the path after 2020, after 7 January 2025. Our mandate as civil society is to ensure that whoever becomes the president abides by the pact. But I also want to encourage at this point all the presidential aspirants who have committed to this pact that even though we understand majoritarian rule in Ghana, that is what we practice, we are also part of the majority, and our voices should count. And so whether you are elected the president or not, you have the responsibility to commit to ending Galamsey. We have failed ourselves. We cannot fail the future. I add my voice to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Levlin. Okay, so I would, Kenteman, would you want to say a few words? Please do, because it will be very good to hear you as well. Will you want to? Okay, okay.
Good afternoon, distinguished compatriots. The media coalition against Galamsey, as far as some of you know, was established in April 2017. We've combed around the countryside in all the Galamsey-prone regions, holding town hall meetings. And our colleagues, and I'm referring specifically to the media, have been very, 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 very cooperative. We understand the risk that some of you have gone through over the years. Unfortunately, the support that we desire as citizens of this country is not forthcoming from the state. Whatever we are doing as members of the media coalition is to defend this country. But alas, we are not getting the necessary or the required support from the state. That clearly shows the kind of leadership that we have in this country. It is very sad, but that is the reality. That is the reality. I don't want to talk so much, but the media coalition is so grateful that we have other citizens, compatriots, who are open-hearted and open-minded, joining the media coalition. We are not going to relent in our effort. The struggle continues and Aluta continua. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kenteman, for those inspiring words. I would invite also Engineer Kojo Boateng Institute of Engineers and Technology Ghana to also share a few words with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Engineer Henry Kojo Boatin, President for Institution of Engineering and Technology, Ghana. Yeah, we joined this coalition for a good purpose. As engineers, we are promoting sustainable engineering, which include sustainable mining. And we look at how Galamsey is destroying our environment and the water bodies. We cannot sit on the fence than to join this coalition. I was even surprised when KUST had fundraising, and one mining engineer told me that it has reached to an extent that even lecturers who are teaching health and safety are being involved. This is where it has gotten to. So it's a serious issue. Politicians, the chiefs, those who are influential in the society, the public servants, and now those who knows better are also involved. So we are fully supporting the coalition that we don't give any honeymoon to the next government, and we continue putting on the pressure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer. Yes, really, there is not going to be any honeymoon for any elected president, and this is what we are committing to here. And the pact is a clear demonstration of that. Ken, are you ready? Che? Okay, yes. Let's invite Che of the Fisheries Alliance to share with us also still some samples of water from the communities and the rivers and parts of Ghana with all of us. Thank you.
Yeah. So for us in the Fisheries Alliance, fish need quality water to be in. And we have been taking samples. These are samples from last week. Today from here, I'm heading off again to take samples. And as you can see, the water is not clear. There are still serious operations of illegal and irresponsible Galamsey mining going on. And we need to look at that. As we speak now, all those who depend on freshwater fishing for their livelihood is totally gone. A lot of the, what you call the mud fish that you see around, is from those who are farming it. Now, in the marine, a lot of heavy metals are being detected. And that is very, very dangerous for us. Because Ghana, we consume a lot of fish. So when I speak of this, I speak for all of us. And the water is not clear. The issue is that if you depend on any of these water sources, and here, Densu, or Brim, or Pra, remember that heavy metals are issues, or they affect your health, and they cannot be totally removed from the treatment processes by a Ghana Water Company. Also, if you eat fish, remember that we are all under threat from heavy metal contamination, trace metal contamination, and other contamination from the illegal mining. So that is why, as a journalist, you need to add your voice. And note that we are doing this not because of political. We have done this over the years. We are raising our voices now so that the politicians would have attention and would have the needed political will that we need. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Che. So, I think he did mention some key issues that we need to take note of. Left to me alone, I would say that mining should completely be stopped. Because one mining activity is one that would displace water, food security, and health. for the rest of the citizens. But we must develop, so that's why we are saying that if we must do mining, it must be done in a very responsible way. I want to take the opportunity to invite the convener, Engineer Ken Ashigbe, to come and share with us the details of the pact and what we are going to do next. Thank you very much. Let's give him a round of applause, please.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The fourth estate of the realm. You are the last man standing. You are the ones who have fought this before. If you take the graphic Jubilee book, you see that we've been reporting it. From 2016, we stopped just reporting and had been advocating for change. And since the situation got to the point of no return, where in the Sechehiman treatment plant, we started recording 14,000 NTUs instead of 5 that the WHO asked for, instead of 500 that the plant is designed for, instead of the 2,000 that Ghana Water was prepared to do. We know what happened. And then we had the enhanced measures that organized labor agreed with government. Organized labor are watching. That's why we hope, they said they are watching government. But we all can attest to the fact that the state of emergency they did not do. They told us that they were getting Operation Halt. They were adding to it. Operation Halt went 1 week. Immediately they left the Brim area, the people went back. We had to call the Small Scale Mining Association for them to go and arrest those who are on the water bodies. Even that we don't know where the cases are going to. The police are so complicit in this fight. The Enyinem police, there's nowhere when the Eastern region are even planning any operation, they will go with them. Because they are so complicit. Not too close from the Enyinem police station. You see the chamfans there. Then we were told about the fact that we're going to repeal LI 2462. What happened? When the NDC and the MPP came to parliament, they were struggling and fighting over which seat they will sit on, whether majority or minority. So that is still in force. What we are going to do immediately after the elections, on an RTI to the Minerals Commission and to the EPA, we are going to find out whether, with government telling us that they were going to repeal that particular act, they are still granting permits for people to go into the forest reserves. You can see from the fourth estate work that they did that a lot of the people who were given permission to go into the forest reserve are politically exposed people. And then also we asked also for the fact that the water bodies, the buffers of the water bodies and the forest reserves, they should take off all those equipment that are there. I'm sure those of you who are watching us, the media who are watching us, there are bridges that you can stand on now. You can see the people, the chamfans in the water bodies. The sides of the roads, they are mining them. So that has not been done. We were told that the organized labor said there were 14 courts. In terms of the document they did, specialized courts are setting up. Then government also told us that they had 8. I don't even want to hear where they are. What are the cases that are happening in there? Have you seen anything change? The banter that happened between the AG and then the Chief Justice about what was causing the delays. What has changed? Nothing. Nothing has changed. And we've heard the MPP Western Regional Minister was on the same platform with the PC for one of the areas, saying that they were going to create a WhatsApp group where if any of the security forces come, they should beat them and they will support them. We had Mustafa Bandi, an NDC executive, also standing and saying they won't stop today, they won't stop tomorrow. We had an MPP member of parliament who our taxpayers' money has trained him to be a doctor. He sees the renal diseases, the people who are dying, the people who are born deformed, but he says he enjoy and they enjoy tomorrow. So the politicians don't have you at heart. And the middle class have been complicit because most of the Galamseyers are the middle and the upper class. They are the people who are funding these things. How many of the poor people can buy an excavator or rent an excavator or buy and manufacture a chamfan? So the middle class, we have also checked that, but that stops. It stops now. It is the reason why we ask the politicians, the presidential candidates, those who are likely to become president on the 7th of January, that they need to sign a pact with us, a social contract that says that they are going to preserve our lives. But for those who will be getting out of power, we'll save them warning that the crimes that are being committed, genocide, ecocide, there are no time bars to them. They might be old on their dying beds. We will drag them to Arusha. We will drag them to the international courts over these crimes that are being committed. Children that are being born with 6 limbs, they did not ask for that. Without genitalia. Why? How can you be so wicked to yourselves? A country that poisons its enemies' water in the time of war is considered a grave war crime. I wonder what they will say about a country that poisons itself. Or people who sit down and allow that to happen. I wonder what they will say about us. So we have failed ourselves. We have failed the past generation. And if we don't change the way we're going, we would also fail the future. So as was said, and you saw that one of the things we all asked for was the signing of the pact. But because of the fact that the conversations as it was going and they were all busy campaigning, it was going to be difficult bringing all of them together today and say they should come together and sign the pact. So what we decided to do was send them a soft copy of the pact and ask them to sign it and return it to us. So that is what has been done. Those who want to say, oh, why are you doing it so close to an election? We are doing it as close to an election as possible. If you are drowning today, would you be saying that because there's an election you should stop? If it was your child who you are taking to KNUST, finished KNUST, was just waiting to come back and get his thesis done, had gone home and fell into a pit and died, would you tell us that because of an election we should stop? What have we gotten from the election? 92 to date. The benefit has gone to the political class. It is only the political class. But that ends today. As has been said, the honeymoon for whoever is going to win the next election, there's no honeymoon. If they want honeymoon, they should celebrate it before the 7th. Because there's no honeymoon. The pact we have with them, it's a social contract. Let me just read what it is to you. It says, either undersigned presidential candidate or independent candidate registered to contest the 2024 elections in December 2024, recognizing the deleterious and devastating impact of illegal and irresponsible mining on the forest, lands, and water resources of Ghana, acknowledging the dangers posed to the food chain and the health of Ghanaians by their inevitable consumption of poisoned water, food laced with heavy metals, and concentrated indelible minerals. Concerned that until and unless bold and decisive legislative and specific policy interventions are put in place to stem the tide, the situation will continue to deteriorate to the point of irreversibility. Convinced that it is both an obligation of the high office of the President of the Republic of Ghana and also a logical patriotic duty of every public servant to work towards the protection of the resources of Ghana and the best interests of the citizens under the trusteeship incumbent on the said office, hereby per pledge, 2, and or act as follows. 1, immediately denounce and do hereby immediately denounce the practice of Galamsey for its treacherous impacts on the natural environment and health, safety and well-being of the people of Ghana and for those of posterity. We accordingly call on the perpetrators of the heinous environmental crime of Galamsey to be stopped by the perpetrators, their agents, assigns, and any workman connected thereto. 3, we call on the law enforcement agencies to immediately and ruthlessly apply the law against the perpetrators of this crime by clamping down on the practice and bringing culprits to book, ultimately through the criminal justice system, irrespective of their political and social standing. That we will design and implement policies to immediately stop Galamsey and uproot Galamsey from Ghana in the medium to the long term, should any of us win the next presidential elections and any presidential elections thereof. 5, to call on our supporters, party officials, communicators, and other persons speaking for and on behalf of our parties to desist from making comments supportive of the menace or otherwise encourage anyone involved in Galamsey to continue with this practice. Signed by the flag bearer. So let me name those who have decided that they will sign, they are going to abide by this pact. 6 of the presidential aspirants out of the 12. The first one was the presidential aspirant of the NDC. The second, His Excellency former President John Mahama. The second one was the independent presidential candidate for the movement of change, Alan John Kojo Tramanting. The third one was His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia of the MPP New Patriotic Party. The fourth one was the presidential candidate of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Kofi Akpalu. The fifth one was the All People's Congress, Dr. Hassan Ayarega. Then the sixth one was signed by the independent candidate John Chumberima Edu. So we have these 6 that have signed the pact. What we are going to do is we are going to get the members, the various members of the coalition also sign it. So as you know, Prof. Jampo is representing the national president of UTAC, but the national president of UTAC has witnessed all of these documents himself, and the rest of us are going to sign it. We will then make color copies, and then we'll send to the presidential candidates. We will send it to all of them, all the 6 that have signed. We'll send them all the 6 copies, so that they all see that their colleagues have signed. As has been said by my colleague engineer, there's no going to be any honeymoon for the presidential candidate who would win. But not even that. For some of you who have been saying election will finish either on the 7th, or if there's runoff, it will finish. Immediately it finishes, we are going to issue RTIs. Ghana Water Company, we have written to them asking them, they need to confirm to us that the water that they are treating everywhere, the level of heavy metals in there are to the level that the WHO says, so that we will be forewarned. As Che says all the time, the fact that it is clear does not mean it is clean. We need a confirmation of that. We've written that letter to them severally. They have not responded. We wrote also to the Ghana Standards Authority. They wrote back to us telling us some stories that finally they said they don't regulate water. But the quality of anything in this country, shouldn't there be a standard for it? And if there's a standard for water, shouldn't they also make sure that that standard is done, is kept? That's the challenge we have. Then the FDA, the effrontery of the FDA, they even did not acknowledge receipt of the document. And these are people that we are paying with our taxpayers' money, who have the mandate to ensure that the food we eat, and water is part of food, is clean enough. But they don't think that it's important. So, ladies and gentlemen of the media, it is important that we let Ghanaians know that that laissez-faire attitude that we have allowed these people, that we have voted for with their thumb. But then now the firefighters have become the arsonists. The people who are to ensure that the Galamsey is not happening, they themselves are benefiting from that. We know for a fact, and I'm sure you all know, that the political parties are being funded by money coming from Galamsey. And that has to stop. In 2025, that is not going to happen. Definitely, we are sure that out of the 6, one of them is going to be president. And if he's president, immediately we'll have to meet him in January to see the actions that are being taken. Things that have been done wrong. There are petitions that we have with the police, including Akonta mining, that has not been dealt with. That crime has to be punished. Including Heritage Imperial, that when we're giving licenses to go and prospect, that had about 36 excavators in. The fact that one of them is dead does not mean that the other directors are not alive. We need to go after everybody who has benefited from Galamsey. And that will require all of us taking actions and saying that enough is enough. As has been said, whether you win or not, you have to join us because you also have signed the pact. And making sure that when you are a presidential candidate, it's not only to contest elections. It's to play a part in the political systems so far as our country is concerned. It's to be part of the governance. So we'll be expecting everybody who has signed to be able to do his job. But for you, the media, it is important that it doesn't matter that the NDC and MPP are doing their campaigns today, so you won't put the story anywhere else. You need to make sure this is frontal. We need to let the people of Ghana know that it is only the 6 that have signed the pact. The rest of them, we don't know why they have not signed. But they have not signed it. And it's important that all of us make sure that as part of our decision taking, when it comes to voting, who is going to protect us as a people should be factored into that. So thank you all very much, and God richly bless our homeland Ghana and make us great and strong. Yes, me kind of 1 minute to achieve. Yes, me born the tough one. And I met me I be sumo. And I'm an crying, but may I treat it. May treat it. Inti the air can say Yatina Siache, aye, as on mine or Yama, young politicians no oma fire. Omo fire nyashi. Na sesi ane ye no asesa. Inti ye koto abey. Ye nim say political parties ni bako ne be di president obe take Nanado place. Inti ye ka say omo nia omo ne ye sign omo ne nya apam bi apam. Inti ya apam no e de komom because ye nim say omo ye busy. Obi a campaigning omo nya kwan embetena ha ene ye nye. Inti ye de komom nia say omo form san chance ye e say omo ne ya afa abosa anything aya pam no nti ye koye no parties omo ye nsia a omo ne aya pam. First one NDC, His Excellency former President John Mahama or the Nsachase. The atosu mienu Honorable Alan Chamanting our movement for change. Na the atosu miensa His Excellency, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. And 9 Liberal Party, Liberal Party of Ghana, Mr. Kofi Apalu. Now the Otosu Enum, People's Congress, Dr. Hassan Ayarega. And now the Otosu Ensia, Independent Party, on the only party, Bia George Chumberema Edu. Inti saa nkonfo nsien omne na assign etwa saa apami na de ebeba ne se after we no de omatrogu enkrata yesu se ombetu Galamsey ase omuni omaka onsa nkrofo nsien omuni omaka NDC MPP alanchama omuni omaka se Galamsey no ombetu ase ti mo amutu Galamsey no mo mre no 7th January yeba mu beja Galamsey no yensio no yebenya yensio no amafo na omu ni abejai na presidential candidate nsia na ehia se wo weni na wo weni wo de onsa ahasi ene e chese woso ese oni yen bo yenia ye de yentuma bo mu na ye ko sa okun ye da mose
Okay, so let's give convener Engineer Kenneth Bay a round of applause once again. Let's do that. At least now we know that flag bearers for NDC, Movement for Change, MPP, Liberal Party, and George Chumberema, and also independent candidate Chumberema and Kofi Akpalu have appended their signature to the pact, and they are going to commit to taking action to address irresponsible mining and illegal mining in the country. There is no honeymoon for anybody. We all acknowledge that where we have failed, we are not going to sit idle and let that continue going on into the future. I want to ask, does any of you have any questions for us? If you do, please raise up your hand and then please, yes. Mike. Do you mind? Please come up here so that we can. Yes, please.
So, as I said, I'm Edmund Ajman Boateng. I work with the Fourth Estate. Not to sound too pessimistic or cynical, but we've heard our leaders say all sort of things, sign to whatever pacts that they want to sign on to. Our current president has said the nicest words about Galamsey, how he thought or how he wanted to end it. And here is where we are, regardless of whatever he said. So what I'm really interested in is, Ken mentioned something that there are no time bounds to ecocide or whatever crime concerning these issues. I want to know what specific steps are you going to put in place to ensure that we get local or international court procedures to end this issue. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's take a couple more, please. Is there any other question? Thank you very much for that. Is there any other question, please? Okay. Ken? Or you, if you, yeah. Right. I completely I agree with you that we've had a lot of things, you know, and then so when we say but we've never had a situation where we've had the social contract between our leaders, our prospective leaders, and the people signed before. This is the first time, but we are not, you know, seeing this as a silver bullet that once you do this and you go and sleep, then everything, you know, will be solved. No, it would not be. It is the reason why, one, we have started this. We had to have a press conference to let everybody, to let all Ghanaians know who has signed this. The second bit about it is that the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, we are also not looking at this thing as a sprint. We believe that this is going to be something that is going to be medium-term, long-term fight. So we are structured in such a way that we're forming various committees. One of the committees is going to be the legal committees. So we are going to have a legal advocacy committee. We are, again, as I said to you, exploring the way we can go to court. How do we go to court to enforce, even our local courts, to enforce some of these things that have to be done, ensuring that those who have to act and are not acting, we are able to deal with them. We are also going to explore the situations that I will tell you. We had a meeting with the EU ambassador, for example. So there are conversations that we are going to have with other partners. Because you see, Galamsey is not only a supply thing. It is also a demand thing. Who are the people who are buying this Galamsey? So like talking to the UN, for example, some of the things were to the EU, for example, they have what they do with the forest, in the protection of the forest, in terms of even what they as countries import from forest. We need to then start going and start asking them that they also need to extend it, because you see, it's not only deforestation, cutting for timber, that deforests the forest. Galamsey even is worse, because they don't even need any of the wood, so they just cut it just like that. So we should get to a point where some of these people who call themselves our development partners should start questioning themselves. What is the source of the deforestation? If it's Galamsey, then they need to start punishing us. We need to start asking questions of those who are buying the gold. The same way, and we know the challenges of traceability when it comes to gold. It's not as easy as you get with diamond. But we need to find technologies to be able to do that. We need to start asking, you know, the thing that the US have done, that anybody who is threatening democracy, they, you know, so we are exploring that those who are going to come into government, and then they are also going to be supporting, conniving, or not dealing with it, they should get to a time where the US will also say that you won't get a visa to come to our country. We should also be exploring the possibility that the World Bank and things who have been giving us money, they've given us money, and it's not a dash, it's a grant. It's a loan. We are going to pay, you and I and your children are going to pay interest on it. They've given that money to do reforestation. Ask yourself, what reforestations are done? So the World Bank themselves, what accountability measures? Or are they just also seeing that an opportunity to make some interest of us as Ghanaians? So our development partners, we need to start asking questions. We need to start getting to the point where even the loan and the aid that are given to us, we start asking questions of that.
We went to COP. I don't know how many of the Ghana, the delegation that went to COP. How many went to COP? We go and we talk about the fact that we are planting trees. On some one day we plant trees. But how many trees do we cut in a day? And what is the sense of that? And then we go and we are asking for that green money. We should get to the point where we tell them that that green money that is coming is not going to do the things that they ought to do. So they should not even give it to us. So it's not going to be just the media, the way we report it. We need to move to the next step. So the legal things, we need to start going after their persons themselves. We need to start going after the funds that they get themselves. So things have to change. And so that's why we are asking every professional, everybody to join the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, so that together we can find ways. Because another thing we need to do is also need to come up with some policy alternatives, because we need to do the thinking for those who are in government, and then we need to carry everybody along to make sure that this is going to be done. So rest assured, signing of the pact is not a silver bullet. The most important thing is the attitudinal change of Ghanaians. That has to change today. Now we have a pact with them, we will hold them to the pact. But who is going to hold them to the pact? The people that the Constitution says in the preamble that are the sovereign people as Ghanaians. The time has come. The professional bodies who should also be able to hold their colleagues. None of the politicians does not belong to a professional body. The president is a lawyer, he belongs to the Bar Association. You know, so we need to start getting the professional bodies to say that whoever is going to be president, their professional bodies should also hold them to the ethics that they have so far as their trades are concerned. The religious bodies, they need to act. There are pastors who are praying for Galamseyers. There are malams who are doing chants for some of this. All of that has to stop. We should start also calling on our gods, calling on our God himself, the gods, those who, anything you believe in. The gods of the rivers, they've been too silent. We don't know what it is that has happened to them. So all of you, as you pray, the gods that you pray for, pray as well. Those who are benefiting from Galamsey money, if they won't stop, they shouldn't wake up. So that's where we've gotten to. We need to start preserving our whole life. So it is going to change after today. After this pact that has been signed, we need our activism has to move on to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Engineer Ken Ashigbe. And to add to that as well, I guess you know that the right to a healthy environment is a human right for everyone. It's an international human right. In Ghana as well, in our constitution, is also a human right. And that's why the constitution enjoins all of us also to be responsible and take individual actions to protect the environment. So every citizen actually has the right to take on any business or any entity polluting your river and putting your life at risk. So for me, I see an opportunity even in Ghana locally for us to take action through the courts. And then if that is not working, we can also defer to the African Court of Human Rights and then move on to the higher courts as necessary. So I think the opportunity is there, but we need to take advantage of what we have here in Ghana, and then we can escalate it as far as we can. And as has been said, we all have a responsibility to safeguard the environment and ensure that we all achieve a healthy environment for all. There's another question that I'm going to allow here, so please come forward. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Owusu Obimpe from Ghanaian Democrat. Mr. Ashigbe, this question goes to you. You see, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, you've sat down so for a long time. We are going for... Yes, I am. We have sat down. Okay. But I'm going to tell you this. Why are you sitting down for the president to appoint, what we call it, the MMCs, the DCs? You see, the Ghana president is so powerful. He's a very powerful somebody. So, whatever you are saying, yeah. The question is that as we are going to have a new leader, he is going to appoint the ministers. We are not going for elections to elect these DCs. He is going to appoint them. So what you can do right now is that you remember Akufo-Addo wanted to what do you call it? Call for the referendum for people to elect our MMCs and DCs. So if we don't do that, nothing is going to work. Thank you. It's an advice.
No, so that is a comment. Let's please allow. Is there any more questions? Yes, please. Bestman, please come forward.
After him, we are going.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Bismarck. I represent Green Restoration. So from the campaigns that have been going on, I realized that there is one presidential candidate that hasn't telling the people or ensuring the people that he's going to allow Galamsey to go on. And it's one of the good news that I've gotten to know that this presidential candidate have signed the pact. Signing the pact means that he's committed himself to actually forgo this Galamsey. Yes, so I want to know how we can actually ensure this contradictory statement for the time that he's standing to do the campaign to tell the people, and then the part that he signed. That's the first question. So the second one is, have there been any pragmatic steps and timelines given before the part was signed? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jay, you want to respond from there? Yes.
We heard previously of
People are on live. The live audience are going blind.
See, basically, when we were fighting this, what people kept telling us, people are dying, and we are asking that we stop Galamsey. And then people are saying, but others say when they come, they would let Galamsey continue. And what I said, look at us. If we have an opportunity to stop it now, let us stop it. Rather than thinking about those who are not in power and thinking that when they come, they would continue and all that. Put that aside. Regardless of whatever they said, we went on with our fight and our campaign. And through the pressures that we brought to bear on everybody, now all have been on board to sign. After all, it's only a fool who doesn't change his mind. So if yesterday somebody said that, as for me, if I come, I would let Galamsey continue. And subsequent to that, we have campaigned, we have done all we can to get them change their mind and to let them see reason in signing a pact. I think then we should move on. What we intend to do with the pact, as I've indicated, is to use it as a tool to demand accountability and to ensure that people are subjected to street proof and they would keep to whatever they said they are going to be doing. And if they renege on that promise, then when we are speaking in a language they better understand, then none of you will be comfortable in reporting those useless stories that some have been bribed and some are doing things deliberately against the government. You would not be comfortable because now we want to have that clean slate. And so please let us move on. Whatever somebody said yesterday is inconsequential. Now we have all these guys coming together, to sign a pact with us. And so let us see how we use the pact to demand accountability. I think that should be it.
Thank you. Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. So I think now you know where we have failed. We are not going to let that happen anymore. Going on into the future, we are going to demand accountability. On that note, we want to extend a big appreciation to all of you for making it here, and also to members of the high table for their presence and also for supporting this cause. A pact has been signed. 6 candidates have signed on to it. It behoves on all of us to take this and demand accountability from our leaders. I want to thank you all once again, and may God richly bless all of you as you go on to your various activities. Thank you so much.